I've generated over $20 million for my clients only using YouTube. And if you count the team earnings that I've been a part of, that number is probably a lot closer to $50 million. So today I'm going to explain the exact same framework that has allowed my clients and I to generate so much money. Because here's the thing, YouTube is as much a science as it is an art. And that means that there's actually a method to all of this madness. And that method is something that I like to call the holy trinity of YouTube videos. And that, my friend, is precisely what I'm going to teach you today. But there's also a few massive misconceptions about what it actually takes to win on YouTube. And to be honest, calling them misconceptions is too nice because frankly, these are lies that you have been told. And the biggest lie of them all is that you need lots of views if you want to make lots of money on YouTube. Because frankly, that couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that anyone can make a couple $100,000 off of YouTube, even if you only get a few thousand views per video. YouTube is really one of the most powerful tools in your business's arsenal, but only if you know how to actually use it correctly. So let's get right into it. You see, there are 3 types of videos you need to post on YouTube if you want to make money. And those 3 are value videos, growth videos, and liquidation videos. Now, let me explain what each of those are in just a sentence before we really delve into things. You see, value videos are not meant to go viral. Instead, they're actually meant to nurture your existing audience. That means they're not supposed to get loads of views. They're only supposed to nurture the viewership that you already have. Really, the goal of a value video is simply to solidify your standing as a figure of authority in your niche. Now, growth videos, on the other hand, are designed to, well, frankly, grow your audience base and grow your viewership. And for that reason, they often go beyond your niche because you want to attract more people into your world. And finally, your liquidation videos are the ones that actually make you money. In other words, this is your YouTube VSL that you pair with the YouTube flywheel effect. And I'll explain exactly how the YouTube flywheel effect works, but we'll get to that later. Now, here's the thing. If you master all 3 of these video types, it's genuinely only a matter of time before you actually start making money off of YouTube, or start making even more money off of YouTube. But the key here is that you need all 3 in conjunction, because by themselves, they're really not all that great. And the reason is that when these 3 types of videos are put together, they actually form your sales funnel, because growth videos are your top of funnel, value videos are your middle of funnel, and your liquidation video is your bottom of funnel. And again, I'm going to explain each of these 3 in excruciating detail. But before that, you really need to understand this one thing. And that is just how big the lie you've been told by YouTube actually is. Because for years and years, everyone has said that if you really want to be successful on YouTube, if you really want to make loads of money, you have to get millions and millions of views. And as I said earlier, that could not be further from the truth. In fact, it's often better to get less views, provided they come from the right audience. Matter of fact, I'm going to take it a step further, because with the framework that I'm going to teach you today, pretty much anyone can make a couple $100,000 a year, even if you only get a few thousand views per month. And frankly, if you don't believe me, well, just let me prove it to you. Let's look to one of my clients as an example. So this is Alex, and to be totally honest, his YouTube video doesn't actually get that many views by most people's metrics. I mean, he really only gets a couple thousand views a month. Now, I don't say that in any sort of begrudging way, quite the contrary actually, because Alex and I have nailed his audience to an absolute T. Instead of uploading for views and being a dancing monkey on camera and just really wasting time like most people do, Alex and I have done something completely different. You see, every single video he posts actually plays a pivotal function in his overall sales funnel. And he's used the exact same Holy Trinity framework that you're about to learn. And as a result, well, he now makes over $25,000 per month just off of his YouTube. And again, he does all of that whilst literally only getting a couple thousand views per month. So now that you understand that views no longer equal money in today's YouTube economy, let's jump right into the Holy Trinity and precisely how you can use the same framework to start making money with YouTube yourself. The first part of the Holy Trinity we ought to cover are your value videos, because they're really going to be the bedrock of your channel. Now, the key is that your value videos are not designed to get loads of views and expand your audience base. Instead, they're designed to nurture your existing viewers. So again, these topics are not top of funnel. In fact, they're middle of funnel. And you can think of this very, very simply. This is where you actually teach what you know best. Again, you're speaking to people who are already interested in your niche, and you're simply showing them why you are the best at what you do and why you have the greatest credibility of anyone else in your niche. But again, you can't just do this in any type of way. In fact, you need to ask yourself, what are all the prerequisite beliefs someone needs to have in order to want to buy from me? Let's use Alex as an example. So Alex is in the high ticket sales space. He helps people get into it and coaches them how to get better at it. So for someone to want to buy from Alex, they need to adopt a set of prerequisite beliefs. So what would those be? Well, one, they'd have to believe that they can make money online, right? Otherwise, why would they get into high ticket sales? Two, they have to believe that high ticket sales is the best way for them to make money online. Three, they have to believe that Alex is the person that knows high ticket sales the best. Four, they need to believe that Alex is the most qualified to actually teach high ticket sales. And fifth, they need to believe that what Alex offers can actually get them the results that they desire. Now, you can obviously break this down much further, but what you'll notice is that every single one of these questions, bar the last one, lends itself to a value video. And that's because value videos exist solely to bring people further into your world. Now, that brings us to growth videos, because growth videos are basically the opposite of value videos. Sure, growth videos are still going to have an element of value to them and you're still going to exhibit your authority. Growth videos are basically there to convert people into your ideal customer, even when they really might not be from the beginning. That means growth videos always need to go one level above your existing niche. So if we take Alex's case, for example, his niche is high ticket sales. So that means his growth videos would target people that are interested in making money online more broadly and aren't necessarily married to high ticket sales. Or you could even take it a step further and you can think about people who just want more out of life. Perhaps they don't even know that what they actually want is to make money online, but they just know that they want something more. So simply put, growth videos go a step beyond your niche so you can convert more people into your niche. And in Alex's case, he'll make loads of videos about how to make money online, how to get more out of life, and the answer to those questions will always be, in his case, getting into high ticket sales. Now that, my friend, brings us to the final of the three in the Holy Trinity video types, and that is liquidation videos. Now, to be honest, liquidation videos are just a fancy word for YouTube VSLs. And your VSL is where you actually pitch your audience. You actually present them with your offer. You present them with the requisite scarcity and urgency that makes them want to buy. But the key is, and this is where most beginners go wrong, most beginners will just have a hard CTA on every single video because they want to maximize for conversions. What they fail to realize is that if you have a hard CTA on all your videos, the only thing you're doing is killing your goodwill. Now, your goodwill is the extent to which your audience allows for you to make a pitch. And if you do that in every single video, well, they're just going to tune out. Because the truth is, no one likes being sold to. And that is exactly where the YouTube flywheel effect comes into play. You see, 95% of your channel is going to be made up of growth videos and value videos. And the YouTube flywheel effect is so exceedingly simple. All you have to do is have one good YouTube VSL, and then in all your other content, you simply link back to that same VSL. Now, the YouTube flywheel effect is honestly nothing revolutionary, but what it allows for you to do is have a constant stream of traffic to the one video where you can actually sell and convert people. If you guys want me to do a full VSL breakdown, I'm happy to do that in a future video. But now that you understand the Holy Trinity framework, there's something else that you really have to understand if you want to succeed on YouTube. Because without this, I know I would have never generated the 20 million that I did for my clients and I. So what is that thing? Well, I'm sure you're wondering, okay, cool, we have this framework, but how do we make sure these videos actually succeed in their own right? And the answer to that is twofold, because it really all boils down to packaging and storytelling. And these two elements are reflected in the two single metrics that will honestly determine the entirety of your success or failure on YouTube. And what are those? CTR and AVD, or click-through rate and average view duration. Now, we'll get to those in just a second, but here's the thing. If your video isn't packaged in the right way, well, then no one's gonna watch it. And it doesn't really matter how good the actual video is, because if people don't find the packaging appealing, they'll never actually find out how good your video might be. So what is packaging? Well, your packaging is simply the way that you present the ideas in your video. Let's say you're a high-ticket closer like Alex. You could either package your videos as, here's how you get into high-ticket sales. Or you could package that exact same video as, here's how you can get rich without even having a business. You see, both of these are really the exact same idea. They're the exact same video. It's simply the packaging that's different. Now, by the same token, you could be giving your viewers Nobel Prize-worthy information. But if you can't tell that story effectively, they're simply going to tune out. So let's delve into these two metrics, and let's start with CTR. Now, the importance of this is obvious. If no one actually clicks to watch your video, well, then it doesn't matter how good or bad your video is because no one's going to get to see it. And really, CTR boils down to two components: your title and your thumbnail. Again, this is something we'll talk about at length in future videos. But one thing that beginners almost always get wrong is that their titles and thumbnails do not complement each other. And it just pains me to see how many people will simply regurgitate their title in their thumbnail, because it's just such a lost opportunity. For example, if your title is something related to how to sell AI infrastructure, well, then your thumbnail should definitely not reflect that. Instead, your thumbnail should add a new element to it. So for example, your thumbnail could say, make 100K, or whatever else it might be. You get the point. And equally, your title should always be the most interesting framing that your video could possibly have. And when it comes to titles, there are really three key points. One, your title needs to be actionable. That means when someone reads your title, they should understand precisely what they get out of it. You see, when someone clicks your title, the idea and the preconception they have based off of your title needs to be validated in the first 10 seconds of your video. Otherwise, they'll simply click away. I mean, it's like if you click on a video that says it'll help you change your flat tire, and all of a sudden it's a video about cooking, you're gonna click away. And the exact same principle applies here. Two, there should be an element of novelty. You always see these trends flowing through YouTube, and the earlier you are, the more novel your title feels, the higher its CTR will be. And then third, there has to be an element of controversiality. I mean, we know this, controversiality sells and people are drawn to negative things. So if you can add an element of controversiality and you also have actionability and novelty, that is a recipe for success when it comes to having a good title and a high CTR. And again, altogether, these things make up your packaging. Now, that brings us to the next metric, which is average view duration. Average view duration simply means how long does the average viewer watch your video? And of course, the longer they watch, the happier YouTube will be. Why? Well, because YouTube is an ad-based platform. That means the more time someone spends on YouTube, the more time someone spends watching your video, the more money YouTube will make off of that viewer by serving them ads. And we can even extrapolate this further to session watch time, because session watch time is simply how long does someone stay on YouTube once they've initiated a session with your video. So for example, if your growth video links to your liquidation video and someone stays on for both of those videos, that's going to extend their session watch time on YouTube. And in turn, YouTube is going to favor the videos which allowed for that viewer to stay on longer. Now, that begs the question, how do you actually increase average view duration? Well, simply put, you just need to become a better storyteller. Now, I actually have a whole separate video about how to structure and really tell stories within your YouTube videos, but for now, let's just keep it exceedingly simple. The best way to maximize your AVD is by simply putting forth your value in the most compelling way possible. Now that means don't beat around the bush, don't save the best for last, and just give the people what they came for. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make on YouTube, which absolutely destroys their AVD, is treating their YouTube video like it was some sort of Agatha Christie mystery novel. You know, they'll tease the point, they'll draw things out, they'll give you little clues and crumbs, and then maybe, just maybe, they'll get to their final point at the very end of the video. Now, the problem with that is by that point, everyone's already tuned out. You see, on YouTube, you need to do the opposite of what you would in a mystery novel. You need to give people what they came for right away. You cannot draw things out, because the truth is, people simply won't stick around. They'll get bored and they won't have the desire to keep watching. The cold hard truth is that people have neither the desire nor the attention span to keep watching and waiting for some value to maybe come at the end. Instead, you need to tell people exactly what they're getting out of the video from the moment they click on it. And every few minutes, you should be answering this question for the viewer. Why should I keep watching? And if you can consistently answer that question for your viewer, well then your AVD will be really, really high. Because honestly, being a good storyteller just boils down to giving people a reason to keep listening. Now maybe if you're reading Agatha Christie, it's because you want to find out who did it. But people don't come to YouTube for that. They come to YouTube to find solutions to their problems. And you are providing that solution. So you better do it as soon as possible. And that, my friend, is the exact framework that I use to generate myself and my clients over $20 million using only YouTube. With that, let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future, and I will see you in the next one.